You think moving into a quiet suburban neighborhood means safety, routine, neighbors waving from their porches, kind smiles, right? That's what my wife, Sarah, and I believed when we first pulled into Willow Creek. But what we didn't know was that behind those trimmed hedges and identical mailboxes was a hidden monarchy, an HOA run by a woman named Karen Whitfield with power that felt bigger than any rule book. And the night the so-called HOA security pushed my wife, everything changed. I want to know one thing before we dive deeper. Where are you watching from? And what time is it there? Drop it in the comments. I'm always amazed at how far these HOA stories travel. We thought the tucked-in cul-de-sac was perfect, like something straight out of a real estate brochure. Kids nailing wheelies, neighbors mowing lawns in matched shirts, the cadence of a peaceful town. Sarah loved it. It was everything she'd ever hoped for in a home. I figured it was fine too, until Karen. Imagine someone with a sharp bob haircut, sunglasses that never leave, a smile so tight it could curdle milk. She didn't just enforce rules, she embodied them, waving HOA bylaws around like sacred tablets. At first it was minor. A note tucked into our mailbox when my recycling bin stayed out a windy night. Another warning about a garden gnome Sarah placed next to the walkway. Apparently not meeting aesthetic standards. I laughed it off. I'd come from places where the bullets were real. A clipboard wasn't going to throw me off. Sarah, bless her heart, decided to befriend her. She baked cookies and delivered them after a hedge's notice. Karen accepted them with that perfected steel smile. But the following week, another violation notice, as plastic as the smile had been sweet. That's when the chessboard was set. The real turning point came at a community center HOA meeting. We sat under one of those long fluorescent lights that make everyone look tired. Ron Dalrymple, the president, played it neutral until Karen grabbed the mic. She started talking about the importance of standards, of how some residents think they're above community rules, decorating and parking however they like. Her eyes latched onto me. I spoke up, measured, calm. Karen, I said, in my world, laws aren't changed according to personal grudges. You're not sheriff, and this isn't the Wild West. The room went quiet. Ron shifted in his jacket. Karen's composure cracked. Just a hair. For the first time, she looked rattled. After that, it escalated. Rose bushes allegedly hung off the sidewalk. Driveway oil stains merited notice. Mailbox color was out of spec. What was petty became personal. Sarah hated conflict and second-guessed every hedge snip after that. But I retrained myself to see patterns, not panic. And the pattern was clear. A power trip gone rogue. Then came the night Sarah's sister, Emily, popped by to drop baby clothes. She parked in the visitor spot for 15 minutes. No big deal, right? Karen saw it differently. She hovered across the cul-de-sac, snapping photos, mouth half open like she'd just landed gold. "Violation!" she yelled, in full declaration mode. Sarah laughed it off, thinking it was stale drama, but Karen called in. And before she hung up, a black SUV rolled into the neighborhood with a glossy decal reading HOA Security Enforcement. No plates. Two guys, looking like extras from a low-rent action flick, stepped out in mirrored shades, tactical vests, and zero badges. They approached our driveway, lights off but presence loud. I asked Sarah later what she thought. "They can't be cops," she said. But when one shoved ahead into her space, demanding ID, barking about Code 4.2, even though Emily had already left, it was no joke. That was the moment I saw through the act. They were imposters. No license plates, no patches with department seals, radios crackling static, no legit signals, only misplaced authority. And when that guy named Todd Clean shoved Sarah, my instincts clicked. This wasn't playtime. When we got home, adrenaline still buzzing, I replayed the footage. No plates, fake decals, that shove. I catalogued every frame. The next morning, Mrs. Alvarez knocked on the door, phone in hand, steady and fierce. She'd captured the moment from her porch. Tyler, the kid down the street, delivered drone footage, SUV circling, Karen's silver Lexus hiding 2 houses away. It was all playing out like another covert mission. I began quietly building the case. Indoor cams angled on the front and back yards, all looped to cloud storage. HOA newsletters and meeting minutes, every trail possible. Then I found it. Enhanced Community Security Services, $7,500 a year going out to a shell company called Patriot Community Defense, LLC. Problem was, that company had dissolved 2 years ago. Ghost security, ghost checks, ghost pocketing. I let them roam, thinking it was safe. Watching Karen strut by with her clipboard, I gave her a calm look. Chilled, not afraid. That small twitch on her jaw. Victory. I tested those imposters again. A night later, they circled back. I greeted them in the driveway. Badge numbers, department, now. Do you know they froze? Tyler's drone buzzed. Porch lights flicked on. They slunk off. More proof they couldn't stand scrutiny. Sarah asked me why not call the real police right away. I told her evidence first, call later. Knock with proof so solid there's no loophole. Evidence piled in. Invoices, HOA emails signed by Karen and Ron. A neighbor whispered they knew the security company was fake. And then dispatch records came back. No calls logged, no officers sent the night of the shove. Impersonation confirmed. Detective Newen entered the picture. A no-nonsense, straight-arrow detective. We met at a diner off the main road. I laid it out. Fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy, assault. He nodded. This was criminal. His plan. Wait for the big reveal. Let them get overconfident. And the night came. Flyer chairs filled the center. Ron droned on about landscaping. Karen locked eyes on me. She wanted spectacle. I waited for my moment. When she turned my way, I stood, pulled out my folder, and asked her straight. Which so-called security was she talking about? The one from the ghost company, paid with HOA dues for enforcement that never happened? I slapped hard copies of the registry, the budget, the invoices on the podium. Then I flicked on the projection. Door cam footage, drone tape, Mrs. Alvarez's video. Gasps, eyes widened. Karen sputtered. Ron turned to paste. Then Detective Newen walked in from the back with cuffs. Todd and Mason, imposters, were arrested on the spot. The room cheered. Years of tension shattered in that one moment. But the fight wasn't over yet. 2 days later, an unexpected email hit the HOA mailing list. Karen's son, Dylan, hit reply all to a spreadsheet titled Kickback Payments, Mum's Copy. The doc listed monthly sums and KW percentages. A 10% kickback scheme. The community erupted. Ron resigned. Karen was exposed from the inside as much as from above. No one would get fooled again. In court, Tyler's drone footage, the door cam recordings, invoices, HOA falsifications, dispatch confirmation, and Dylan's spreadsheet formed a mountain of evidence. Karen tried to spin it, consulting fees, mislabeling, all by accident. Dylan testified truthfully. No, she told me. I counted the cuts. Verdict: guilty on all counts, sentenced with restitution. Willow Creek breathed again. We didn't celebrate much. Small block party instead. Flamingos appeared, a giant skeleton someone set up in the yard just for irony. Sarah laughed until 3 a.m. I finally exhaled. Not just for us, but for everyone who'd sent emails in fear, trimmed bushes at night, waited for enforcement notices. Sometimes the real weapon is a camera, a folder, a voice saying, no more. This isn't just a story about HOA tyranny. It's proof that bullies can be stopped. Even when they come wrapped in legit-looking patches and clipboards, even when they think their power comes from fear and silence. But stand up once, and suddenly everyone's watching, so always speak up, even if your voice shakes. Your silence doesn't help anyone. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? What time is it? Let's talk, because this isn't just Willow Creek's story. It might be yours next.